Yes, and that brings us to our second talking point on India at 9 tonight. The Mandi tragedy could have been avoided. Was this a tragedy that could have been averted? Joining me in the studio is Himanshu Thakkar. He's the coordinator of South Asian Network on Dams, Rivers and People. Himanshu, thanks very much for joining us here tonight. And SS Guleria, he's the DIG of the NDRF. He's in charge of the Mandi operations. But before I come to you two gentlemen, I did manage to speak to the DGP of Himachal Pradesh, Sandeep Kumar, just a short while ago. And I obviously asked him about the latest in rescue operations. Remember, at that point in time, there was still light enough. But the chances of finding any survivors was obviously receding.
Yesterday evening at about 6:30 p.m. some of the students got down to have photography etc. in the Byas river near Thalot between Mandi and Kullu. They ventured into the water and were taking photographs etc. when the flow of water was not that turbulent. Moments later, the incident took place when water was released from Laji project. The excess water caused the turbulence and the flow increased. The strength was so much that about 25 of them are feared washed away. Rescue operations is going on in full swing since yesterday.
I also put that question to the DGP about the conflicting signals that Jyoti was reporting about from the ground. That eyewitness reports have seemed to indicate that they heard no sound, they heard no hooters, they heard no sirens, but the Hydel Power Project authorities seem to suggest that they did follow proper protocol.
Since an FIR has been registered, detailed investigation will be carried out. In the meantime, Honorable Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh visited the site along with senior officers and senior ministers, and one of the senior ministers is coordinating the government's rescue operations. There, an inquiry has also been ordered by the Honorable Chief Minister into the incident. I think all these things will be looked into in detail. So far, preliminary report is available. Even if the hooter was sounded, as it has been confirmed that hooter was sounded, but then it might not have been audible to the students who were there in the water because of the flow of water, and they may be talking among themselves, etc.
Okay, so the only two parts of the interview that we managed to receive so far. But SS Guleria, let me take this to you. What the DGP told me, that there is possibly a likelihood that the Hydel Power Project authorities did follow protocol. Those hooters were there. But obviously, the fury of the river and the sound of the river would be that students may not know what has happened or may have not heard it. Is that roughly the inputs that you've got from the ground as well?
Yeah, ma'am, that can be the possibility that there may be siren or students may have heard it or not. In fact, it is a matter of investigation, and I do not have the ground realities, the information, and it is beyond my competency also to comment on this.
True.
I would like to concentrate or I can tell you only about the disaster response or the response of our team which has taken place so far.
Okay, sir, so let me just focus on that. Obviously, it's more than 24 hours past since that tragedy has taken place, and we do believe 4 to 5 bodies have been recovered. Tragic as it is to ask this question to you, and for any families who may be hearing this interaction, would chances of finding survivors, I'm presuming, would be receding now or close to nil?
Unfortunately, the chances of survivals are very, very low, very least, or we must say that by now, if there would have been any survival, we would have certainly found out, because on both banks of the river, the intensive patrolling has been carried out since yesterday and since morning also, and the rescue operation or the patrolling in the water also has been carried out. So chances of survivals are very, very less. I must say it's negligible.
Sir, the loved ones and the family members of these students have been pointing perhaps to the lack of information. There are some concerns that the gates hadn't been closed downstream. in many cases like these, the bodies actually go far, far down, and the chances of recovering those bodies also becomes more difficult.
Yes, the chances of retrieval of the bodies are difficult, but as far as the bodies are concerned, most probably we are of the opinion that the bodies will be found between the place of incident and the Pandor Dam, which is a stretch of about 18 to 19 kilometers. And since morning, the area where there is a Pandor Dam, from there we have already blocked that area, so the chances of the dead bodies going further below are negligible. There is no scope, so the area of operation will remain the same where we have carried out the operation today only. But here, our past experience, my past experience shows that many times, the dead body get beneath in the water, and especially here in this case, there are big boulders, there are big rocks, and there are chances that bodies have gone under the boulders and must be entangled somewhere. And we are finding it difficult, especially our deep diver, because of the turbulent flow, the rocks and the boulders, and especially, the murky water, there is a mud also. So these are the factors as a result of which we are not able to retrieve the dead bodies. But many times, it takes time, and after 1 or 2 days, bodies comes up. But till that time, we are trying our best to carry out this search operation.
Obviously, it's not quite the news that anyone would like to hear. Mr. Guleria, if you can just wait for a bit, I just want to throw in some questions to Himanshu. Himanshu, as you look at this tragedy unfold, and many of the villagers actually pointing to the fact that they saw no communication, they saw no hooters, they saw no sirens. But what is the one big learning that we must take from a tragedy of this nature?
See, every dam is creates a potential risk zone in the downstream area.
True.
We have had experience of several such incidents. This is not the first gruesome incident.
Absolutely.
It has happened in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, all over India.
True.
And in none of those incidents, the responsible officers have been held accountable.
Right.
In a case of Madhya Pradesh, where 60 people were washed away,
That's right.
The NHDC official said we had written a letter and posted it that we are going to release water, and the Tehsildar said we never got the letter, so neither of them were punished. Nobody was punished. So that's the first thing. Secondly, every dam needs to have a transparent, accountable operation rules.
True.
How is it going to be operated? Now, even if the hooter was sounded, how will the students know that what is this hooter going to signify? Where there are signboards on the road every 50 meters? So how far the hooter sound goes?
So what is the protocol for any hydroelectric power project of perhaps this size? Does there have to be effective communication? Does there have to be signages? Does there have to be booms? What is the...
In fact, the trouble is we don't have credible procedure for dams. And that's what, so it's not just the question of half a hooter.
That's true.
The impact of the releases would be up to the Pandor Dam, which is 18 kilometers.
That's right.
So all over that stretch, there should be warnings available. Secondly, it is not just the hooter, but signboards should be there in local languages and so on. Thirdly, when a wrong operation, in this case what has happened clearly is that the dam has released water, not the powerhouse.
That's right. The hydroelectric power, the dam authorities, the Lija
dam authorities. The dam release, not the hydropower. Right. The hydropower outlet is 3.5 kilometers downstream.
Right.
And in a lean season, when the power demand is high, in such a situation, how come the power operation was not happening, the power component was not operating, and the dam was releasing water? So there are so many unanswered questions, and the inquiry of the DC will not be credible. What will be required is an independent inquiry, which will really go into all these questions and also hold accountable the inadequate safety measures. We don't have. So we have sanctioning of the Ministry of. We have been raising this issue with the Ministry of Environment about the impact of operation of the dam. And that assessment should be part of the environmental impact assessment, and management plan for such a eventuality should be part of the management plan. Similarly, Central Water Commission, Central Electricity Authority, Ministry of Power, there is a dam safety bill in the parliament.
Absolutely. Himanshu, I want to bring that point because there's one of the viewers who wrote in to say that in Chamba there are 4 big dams, but there's not even one alarm system in any of the dams that exist.
Exactly. In fact, most dams, even the basic alarm systems don't work. And what the people, local people, we should be more believable than the dam engineer anyway. So, they are not only not working, there are several places where people have been killed, but the dam operators don't get punished. And so the dam engineers know that they are not going to be punished irrespective of what happens due to their wrong operations. So this, and the dam safety bill which is in the parliament has nothing about the wrong operation of the dam. It only talks about the structural safety of the dam.
Okay, so there is no onus as far as the operational requirement of those who would be running the dam is
Exactly,
concerned.
and we have no law about this. In India, there is no law about the operational safety and the impact of operational non-safety of the dams in the downstream area.
Fair enough. Himanshu, I'll have to end it there, but I'll just give the final word to Mr. Guleria and bring the focus back to this particular tragedy. Mr. Guleria, many of the family members have pointed to the fact that there is very little information coming in, and I think there is a realization of the tough task that you have in carrying out this retrieval, relief, rescue operation. What would you like to say to them tonight?
I would like to say that have faith in us. We are trying our job. Tomorrow early in the morning again we'll start operation. Even during night patrolling on both sides of the river is going on. And we can make our efforts, and rest it is up to God. We are supposed to do the efforts that we are doing.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, on that rather somber note, I'll have to thank you here for joining us on our second talking point tonight. Clearly, as Himanshu has pointed out, this has been a tragedy that could have been avoided, not just today, but before as well.